Here we go. So what we're going to do is this is going to be just like day school, people. We're not going to do anything different. Expectations are the same. There's a reason we're all in honors math, right? So SM2H unit 5.2, and this is 5th period. Alrighty, our objective is going to be able to, what was my objective? Properly graph any given quadratic equation and collect data. Alrighty, now what we're going to do is we are actually just going to take and do one of these right off the assignment, just so I can kind of show you what I expect as far as what I want to see on your work. Okay, so what I need for starters is, if you are in a quiet house or you're in your bedroom, I need you to all unmute yourself. Okay, because what ends up happening is I ask a question, and by the time the lag happens from you reaching up and unmuting yourself, it takes forever to get a question answered. Okay, so if it's quiet, just unmute yourself. Okay, alrighty. Now what we're going to do is we're going to walk through what I expect as far as what I want to see on this assignment. Okay, there is 12 questions and they're all the same, and then there's some review questions at the bottom. Okay, so this is what we got. Let's say we're going to do number 8 right here. Now, for starters, I would want to try and factor this. Okay, so anybody factor x squared plus 5x minus 24 for me? Nobody can factor that? Okay, well then I guess we'll just factor it myself. So I believe it's going to factor into x plus 8 and x minus 3. Is that right? Yeah? Alrighty, now remember that these are my factors. From there, I found my zeros. Okay, my zeros are going to occur at x equals -8 and positive 3, right? Now, these are my zeros. These are also my x-intercepts. So I'm going to come down here and say, okay, my x-intercepts are at -8, and they are over here at positive 3. And I go -8, 0, because we label everything in this class. And then I go 3, 0, and there are my intercepts. Okay? Now, from there, what I need to do is I need to find my y-intercept. Okay, well, my y-intercept occurs where x is 0. So what I do is I go to my equation and I just substitute 0 in everywhere x is. Okay? Now, most of the time when you do this, your y-intercept is going to be that value right there. What letter would that be? If I was thinking about this being in standard form, does anybody know? C. C, right? So your y-intercept is typically C. So in this case, my y-intercept is going to be at -24. Now, clearly, this graph, whoever picked this one, didn't choose very well. Is that a -9? Yeah? So -24 is going to be, I don't know, we'll just say we're down here. So I'm going to be at 0 and -24. Okay? Now, what I'm going to show you to do right now is kind of big picture. Okay? Now, remember, we're making a parabola, right? And clearly, this parabola is going up. And I know it's going up because right here, this was my A, right? If A is positive, my parabola goes up. If A is negative, my parabola goes down. And right now, that's a positive 1, right? So if that's a positive 1, I know this parabola is going up. So I know my vertex is going to be way down here somewhere. Okay? Let me slide this up so we can get out of the thing. Okay, so now to do that, what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to find what is called your AOS. Okay? Your AOS stands for axis of symmetry. Okay, and it is the line that goes right down the middle of this parabola. And it's going to happen right between those two numbers. Anybody know how to figure that out? Figure out how to find their middle?
Just like count?
I could do that. Okay, I could do that. There's an easier way, I think. Anybody? No? Add them up and divide by 2. So you're going to go -8 plus 3, and you divide that by 2, and that's going to give me, what's that, -2.5? Right, because -8 plus 3 is -5. -5 divided by 2 is -2.5. So right here, at -2.5, you're going to have a line. And that line is called your axis of symmetry. Okay? Now, what you're going to do with that is you're going to use that. You're going to substitute that back into this equation right here for your x, and that's going to give you the y value of your vertex. So for the y value of your vertex, you're going to go y equals, we got a 2.5 out, so I'm simply going to put that into this equation. So I'm going to go -2.5 squared plus 5 times 2.5 minus 24. And if I punch that into my calculator, I'm going to get -2.5 squared plus 5 times -2.5. That's a -2.5 right there. And then minus 24. And I'm going to get negative, wait a minute, that's not right. I forgot to put that in parentheses. Let's just do this. Let's go 2.5 squared, because it's negative, it's going to be a positive anyway. Let's go plus 5 plus 5 times -2.5 minus 24, and I got -30.25. So I get -30.25. So what that is the y value of your vertex. So down here, I'm going to be at -2.5 and -30.25. So we're just going to say it's right there. So that value is -2.5 and -30.25. Okay. Now, this is what my parabola is going to do. It's going to be this nice, gentle curve like that. And a nice, gentle curve like that. And it's going to look something like that. Okay, and this is my parabola. Okay. And anytime I have a quadratic equation that's squared like this, it's going to make that shape when I graph it. Now, from here, x-intercepts we found. Y-intercept we found, right? That was right there. Okay? Now, end behavior. See it right here, end behavior right there. This is where a lot of students get confused, so pay attention. End behavior. Now look, what you do is you start at your vertex. You're going to move to the right. Okay, and these are all going to look the exact same way. So what you're going to do is you're going to write these two things. You're going to say, as x approaches positive infinity, then you're going to say, as x approaches negative infinity. Okay? So as x approaches positive infinity, I'm going to go right. So as I go right on this graph, where's my graph going? It's going up, right? Well, as it goes up, that means that y goes towards what? What value is y going to move towards? Man, I thought class was bad sometimes. This is like a ghost town. Y goes towards positive infinity. Now I look at the other side. So as I move left, my graph's still going where? Still going up, so y is still approaching positive infinity. And what you'll notice is that these two will always match. These two never change. Whenever it asks for end behavior, it's always going to look like this. It's going to be x approaches infinity, x approaches negative infinity. That somebody tells me I'm going to go right and I'm going to go left. These two will always match. My parabola is going up, these are going to be positives. My parabola is going down, they are going to be negatives. So as I move right along this graph, my parabola goes up. As I move left across this graph, my parabola still goes up. Does that make any sense? Anybody at all? Yeah? Like, I'm begging here. Anybody? Like, I know you guys can all talk. You talk the minute I turn you loose. Is this making any sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, let's do another one. So, let's do this. I'll make one up. Hopefully I don't screw this up because these are hard to just make up. So let's say I gave you y equals, actually, I'm going to do one. Let's do this. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to go y equals x squared minus 2x minus 8. Okay, so here's my parabola. Now, what do we do? What do I need to find first?
Factor.
I need to factor it, right? So I'm going to factor this into what? Somebody factor that sucker up for me.
-4 and 2.
Negative 4 and positive 2. So you got y equals x minus 4 and x plus 2. Is that right? Anybody back that up?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so there. From there, I'm going to find my what? I'm going to find my zeros, right? And what are my zeros?
4 and negative 2.
4 and negative 2, right? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, okay, I got 1 0 at 4 and 0. The other 0 is at negative 2 and 0, right? Got that. Okay, now I know that my AOS, where's my AOS going to be? It's going to occur at x equals what? Who can tell me where my axis of symmetry is?
When x equals 0?
When x equals 0?
No. Just kidding.
How do I do it?
-1.
Yeah, just,
Add them up, divide by 2.
yeah, so I'm going to go negative 2 plus 4 divided by 2, right? Well, negative 2 plus 4 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, right? So I'm going to get x equals 1. So I'm going to go over here on my graph, and I'm going to draw in that line, and that line is x equals 1. Okay, so that's my AOS. Now from there, I need to find my vertex. Okay, my vertex. Okay, how did I find my vertex? Well, I already know the x value of my vertex. My vertex is going to occur at 1 and something, right? How do I find that value of my vertex?
Don't you replace x with 1?
Yeah, so I'm going to take it, I'm going to go y equals 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 8, right? Well, that's going to give me 1 minus 2 minus 8, which gives me, what's that, negative 9, right?
Yeah.
So my vertex occurs at 1 and negative 9, so I come over here 1, I go down, we'll say that that is negative 9, we'll go 1 comma negative 9, okay? Now, what's the only other thing I'm missing to be able to draw this?
The y-intercept?
Yeah, my y-intercept, right? So where is my y-intercept going to be at? My y-intercept is at
Negative 8.
negative 8, right? Because it's usually at C. Okay? So I'm going to be right here, and let's say that this is, what's that going to be? 0 comma negative 8, right? Now, then my parabola is going to just make a nice gentle curve up through that point and up through that point, and it is going to look something just like that. Okay? Now, from there, then I've got to go and find my end behavior. Okay, so I'm going to say, okay, end behavior. So I'm simply going to write as x approaches positive infinity and as x approaches negative infinity. So as I go right, I'm going to start here. As I move right, this parabola goes where? Up. So what does y approach?
Positive.
Positive infinity. Okay, as I move left from here, where does my parabola go?
Positive.
It goes up, so y also approaches positive infinity, right? Well, I said this earlier. These will always do what for these two, or for these kind of problems?
Match.
They're always going to match, right? The sucker's going up, they're going to be positive. If this sucker would have been going down, they would have been negative. These will never change. It's always going to go right, and it's always going to go left. Okay? Every problem on that assignment is just like those two problems I just did. Now, the only time you're going to run into some trouble is when you get to a problem like number 5. Okay? Everybody look at 5 and tell me what makes 5 more challenging. Anybody got that? Nobody sees what makes 5 more challenging?
There's a number before.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to factor that other way, right? Take 15 times by negative 8 and then factor by grouping. Does that make sense? Was that you, Garrett?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Or no?
Yes. So you just. Would you times the 15 by the 8?
Yeah, 15 times negative 8, right? And then factor by grouping that sucker.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Now let me show you guys a shortcut. Now, I need everybody to pay attention to this. The only reason I'm showing you this is because not everyone has a calculator at home. Okay? Now, if you were to get on Desmos, okay, this is Desmos, okay? Now, if you get on here, you can actually take and type in, so let's say I did that one I just did, which was x squared minus 2x minus a, so I'm going to go x squared minus 2x minus 8, right? So here is my graph, right? Well, if I look here, I've got that point's negative 2 and 0. You guys see how it tells me that? Then I come over here. This point is 4 and 0. We had that point as well, right? Okay, come down here. This point is 0 and negative 8. And I come over here, and that point is 1 and negative 9. Okay, are they all the values we just had?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as I look at that, can I would I be able to do the end behavior exactly like we just did it? Yes, Mr. Denton. Yes, we would, actually. Yeah, oh, thank you. Good job. Yeah, nobody sensed any sarcasm there, I hope. Okay. And that's another way you can do these. Now, I will be honest with you. Once we come back to class, we won't be using this. The only reason I'm showing you this is because I know most of you do not have a calculator that I suggested you get for Christmas, if you recall. So, you know, if I had my calculator, I'd probably just do it on my calculator because we can find all these things that way. But I already showed you how to do that. So, just, you know, something to keep in the back of your mind. Okay? Questions? This would be when I would really appreciate it if someone would say, "Hey, Mr. Denton, I have a question now." Or just continue to remain silent. That's okay. Not. My heck. I thought you guys were bad in person. This is worse. I got nothing? Nobody's got anything. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So, I need everybody to pay attention. I am going to record Monday's discussion. Okay? You're going to watch it online Monday morning. I'm giving a test. It's a long story. I'm giving a chemistry test. And it's got to take up the entire day tomorrow. And so I have to record their discussion. So I'm going to try it with you guys as well. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to get up. You'll need to get online. You'll need to watch the discussion for section 5.3. Okay, and that'll be, you got to realize that's next Monday morning. Do you know what I'm saying? Right? Because isn't that the next time we'd meet?
Yeah.
Yeah? So next Monday morning, there will be a video up. And it'll say, you know, Secondary Math 2 Honors Unit 5.3. You will need to watch that. And then you will need to do Section 5.3. Do we all understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's what's disappointing is I only have 19 of you online. And we have 35 kids in class. So I need someone to explain to me where everybody is at. Do they just think that this is just that we're just gonna not do anything? Or what? You have no clue?
The link wasn't working for my brother.
The link wasn't working for your brother? Well, it worked for you, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I tried it on his phone and Chromebook, and it just doesn't work.
Well, I find a problem with that because if it worked on you, it's not the link, it's the Chromebook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, well, I guess that's everything. Are there any questions? I would send a message out, you know, snap it, TikTok it, whatever you got to do. What, you guys don't do that, Madden?
No, you don't TikTok everybody that you have math homework.
Well, you don't. Why not? Say, hey, dummies, get online. We ain't stopping. I mean, I sent a message out, but apparently they don't listen to me. Maybe they'll listen to you. Right?
I mean, I guess.
Well, something. I'm frustrated, man. We ain't slowing down, so I guess it's their choice. They'll be screwed when we're done. So, I guess that's it. I will talk to you guys next week. Have a happy Thanksgiving. If you have any questions, speak now.
Thank you, Mr.
Oh, I know Winley isn't on here.
Well, don't give me any specifics here. But I'm just telling you, we're not stopping. So, it is what it is, I guess. Okay, we'll see you guys.
Mr. Denton,
Yeah,
I have a question.
sure. Who's this?
This is Sadie.
Sadie, what's up?
I didn't take the Unit 4 test. Do you want me to take that when we get back, or
Didn't I send it to you?
what?
Didn't I send it to you?
I don't think so. I could have just missed it.
I thought I did. Stay online. Don't go anywhere, Sadie.
Okay.
Alrighty, so... Okay, see you guys. Sadie, are you home?
Yeah, I'm at home.
Okay. I just didn't know if you guys had gotten home yet. So let me see here.